What's up, everyone? Welcome to the podcast, the show dedicated to talking about all the poggers things in life, like music, content creation, and video games. I'm one of your co-hosts, JesseKazam.
Yo, remember Kablam?
No.
Oh, you're too much of a zoomer.
What was Kablam? Sometimes I'm just dumb and forget things. I'm not a zoomer.
You just went through a whole bevy.
Yeah. I'm dumb. I'm just dumb.
Oh, Kablam, dude. That fucking wasn't Kablam the show
Kabloom?
that
Wait, Kablam, the Nickelodeon show.
what other fucking show would I be referencing? That's all we watched was Nickelodeon.
I don't know. There was Disney Channel and Cartoon Network. Kablam. Is it Shazam? That's the movie that doesn't exist?
Yeah, the one where
Shaq makes candy rain from the sky or something?
No, it's the one where what's the guy's name? He's a fucking genie.
Yeah.
Where it's not Shaq. Shaq was in
Kazam.
Was in Kazam, yeah.
And then what's the one? Sinbad.
Sinbad was apparently Sinbad was
the genie in the movie that doesn't exist?
Yeah, which is like I hate it. Wait, Shazam? Wait.
Kazam with 2 A's.
Sinbad movie. Sinbad movie Shazam. Yes. Yeah, dude, I hate this. I don't understand. Like this existed? Well, what is this? What is this?
I don't know.
What is this? What is this? I don't understand.
It's got to be like Photoshop. That's got to be Photoshop because Kazam adds another A, K-A-Z-A-A-M, and then that's Shazam, S-H-A-Z-A-A-M. Like, that's got to be something someone made because of the meme of it existing. And then they, like, took a picture of it.
Dog, I don't know. Dude.
I don't know.
We live in a simulation.
True. Mandela effects are just like where the other universes bleed into ours. That's why some of us are like, didn't that thing happen? Because it happened in another timeline. Certainly. What's up, man? How you doing?
My brain is like, I'm just going through if Sinbad existed or not, but I mean, sorry, not Sinbad definitely existed.
Sinbad definitely existed.
He definitely, well, maybe. Yeah, I mean, I'm good, buddy. I'm good. We're making progress. It's been such an emotional fucking roller coaster.
Did you
with
rank
this house.
up to gold?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Ranked up to gold, and dude, today I was on a 12-game win streak in competitive.
Holy.
Yeah, the first 45 minutes I lost every game. The first 45 minutes, every one of my guesses was in the wrong hemisphere. It was like very.
You were like, "What's happening, bro?"
Yeah, dude.
I was like, Shazammed?
I was legitimately like, the first time I got really triggered in a long time. I'm just like, "What's happening? What's going on?" Like, I feel like the universe is gaslighting me when it's like,
yeah.
But it's one of those things like, you're so convinced until you see the answer, and then it's like, obviously.
Yeah.
It never wasn't that.
Yep.
And of course, like as a viewer, that's the thing where it's like,
yeah.
Oh, of course, dude.
Right, it was Zimbabwe.
Yeah, and it's dude. The best part is that like even if you've got like 50 people watching, there's going to be 2 that know the right answer and know why.
Mm-hmm.
Always. It might be the same 2 because they're like pros, or it might just be a random.
Yeah, that's like, oh, I've seen that place before, and they know it's this. Yeah.
Every round is obviously this is the answer.
yeah.
You can never. It's like, yeah. I mean, what can I say?
Yeah.
But yeah, this the house stuff is what's been like
stressing,
gnarly.
Yeah.
It's just been an emotional roller coaster. Like
I can only imagine.
You know, we were trying to buy the land, got the land under contract. Then the kind of situation with the builder that we had that was going to build our house, because we have basically like custom home plans. That all fell through. Then we basically ended up going to the the people who are selling the land, because they are also builders,
Yeah.
and being like, so basically the deal's gonna fall through. Running up to like deadlines, and you gotta get permits and shit. And it's like, at this point, it's like, just let the contract fucking go null and
Expire.
void.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, we'll do like a 60-day extension on this if you wanna. Basically, they gave me the option of like, you can find another builder over the next 30 days, and then once you do, we can like reset the timer and have like another 30 days to close to have the
Yeah.
the bank, because the bank has to approve. Dude, there's like 8 billion steps, and I wish I could, like, it would be cool to do like, I mean, I don't know, it would be, I would like to document it, but it would, if I were to do it, make a video, it'd be like on a separate channel, I
Yeah.
think. The problem is there's like so much inherent potential for like doxing,
Oh yeah.
because it's like my house,
Yeah.
but yeah, like the bank needs to know that the builder, they need like references for the builder. They need to know, to see their insurance. They need to see the
Yeah.
contract we have. They need to know everything they're planning on spending every step of the way with the schedule. And then, like, so what we're waiting on right now over the next week is basically going to be an appraisal of
Yeah.
a house that exists on paper only,
Yeah.
to effectively say like, what is it worth? And they'll, if it's worth $200,000 less than what I'm paying for it, they'll give me the money.
Yeah.
We just have to basically come up with the difference. And it's like, but why? But like, that would be a red flag, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
well, wait a minute, like,
Yep.
so
Oof.
yeah. But
Yeah.
I've been trying to figure out what I want to do with the space I'm gonna have.
Yeah. With the studio.
It's so like it's so much more complicated than you think. I like need basically someone who's like an interior designer who knows
Yeah.
streaming and recording studios
Yeah.
to
100%.
like
Because like when
design my
you
space.
are like, when you buy a house and you walk into the room and you go, this is my room. You're like, okay, well, here's how I should set it up. But when you have this like clean slate of like, the room can be however you want it to be. It's like, oh, well, now what do I want to do? And there's like a million more decisions. And then how do you lay it out? And I know you want to like have a place for like the sim rig and a bunch of stuff that is kind of squeezed into your office right now. Yeah. I'm sure it's a nightmare, but an exciting one, kind of.
Oh yeah. Like it's the dream. It's just kind of trying to figure out like what would the layout be. And like I've moved around the layout for multiple rooms over the course of the last like 5 or 6 years so many times, but like the way I want to design this, I want like the outlets and the circuits. Like I want the circuits to be like on their own.
Yeah.
To have their own circuit basically. So that I'm not like popping breakers if I have too much juice going into here or there. I don't want noise on the line. If I'm have like a computer plugged in and I'm recording it with a microphone, you don't want that like ground loop hum. So, and then trying to figure out like what I want to do for lights. And I think I might want to have a bunch of, although like each one of these is like X $100,000 for like every time you want to do like a thing.
Yeah. Yep.
Or sometimes it's like costs like next to nothing. It's kind of like impossible to know. You just have to ask every single time.
Yep.
But what I want to do is have almost like this under the floor. It's going to be hardwood, basically. Have one of those like circular kind of caps that pops off, and there would be like Ethernet jack power.
Yeah. That'd be sick.
So that I could just run it through into the floor.
Yep.
Rather than have a million cables going to the wall, which is just like annoying.
That'd be sick.
So then it's figuring out like where do I want to put all those. I even from the home plans that we have, I removed a window. Specifically because I just don't want a window on the wall like in the fucking way.
Yeah, because you might. Yep.
Like we don't want natural light. You know what I mean? Almost ever, pretty much. So yeah, what I ended up doing with the back is basically saying like frame the window,
Mm-hmm.
frame it for a window, and then put drywall over it. So basically, like if I'm going to sell it 30 years from now, and they might want a window in that room,
Yep. Yep.
it's like trivial. They just
Yeah.
basically take the drywall off and pop a
Pop a
window into
window
the
in.
frame
Yep.
without having to
That's
like,
smart. Yep.
yeah. So I'm doing that kind of thing in a few different places, but so I have a couple of like images for what stuff's gonna look like. I'm like almost hoping that like I can crowdsource, like find someone who has some kind of expertise with this.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I went to like a local AV place, but they mostly do like home theater stuff,
Yep.
and I don't need like, it's not about speakers and like couch and subwoofer. It's
Yep.
a lot more random
Yeah, you
than that.
almost need somebody that like designs or works with recording studios. Like that skill would be more transferable to like, oh, I see what you're doing here, as opposed to, yeah, like the AV install places are almost always just kind of like dummy proofing basic AV stuff for older people that want a home theater, you know what I mean? Like that's 90%
Yeah.
of what they do.
Yeah. So looking at the plans I got here, underneath here is the 3-car garage.
Mm-hmm.
That gives you kind of an idea for the scale. It's 36 feet by I want to say it's like 19 or 20
Yeah.
feet, whatever it ends up being. So it ends up being like, I think just under 700
Damn.
square
That's
feet.
huge. That's sick.
700 square feet in meters, which is 650. Nope, sorry. I added a 0. 65 square meters. Yeah, I mean it's a huge space.
Yeah.
And so we had to make a few modifications because I didn't want like you don't want like a slanted wall.
Oh yeah.
So basically this is from the side.
Yeah.
Originally, like this was the original roof line.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And so that meant that that it would have been like here and then come down here.
Yep.
And that just makes it seem like a lot more claustrophobic and
Yeah.
whatever. So we ended up adding a dormer, which will make it so that it's basically full height,
Mhm.
8-foot ceilings. So I mean, yeah,
That's sick.
I'm stoked. And this is the window that in the back here.
Yeah.
That's like to the backyard. I'm like, just fucking cover it
Just
up.
cover it up.
Because I have been trying to like, it's super ugly, but trying to figure out like where could I
Yes,
possibly
bro.
do.
Yes.
It's just a bunch of fucking Google like JPEGs. But I have like this idea for like on this back wall, I might have like either like wood accent
Yeah.
or something.
And you could do
with,
like a
brick
set,
or
like for filming videos.
yeah. So I have I've got a couch, I've got like a cocktail table, and I've got a few things like I want to have my like chessboard here
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
But have like the guitars all on the walls, maybe some built-in cabinets here, have some lights set up, and then have a camera here. So would then basically have this. And so what I'm trying to figure out is like, how can I make it so that like there's the fewest wires as
Yep.
possible going everywhere?
And
I mean, I
nothing
could
has
like,
to like move around. Yeah.
yeah. So it's like, could I put, this here with like the computer here, and then like fucking this, over here. So then I could have like a computer here. This would be like the streaming,
Mhm.
the streaming editing kind of setup. This would be the gaming setup, and like so that the wires could just be connected and everything could be from like one
Yep.
kind of workstation.
Yep.
Got the camera here, so then the camera pointing this way would get my good side, and it would also, when I'm streaming, you'd have the same kind of cool
Yeah,
looking
you would have some
backdrop.
like texture to the background. Yeah.
And then one of the other things I'm thinking, the like what the hell is it called? Like the rail lighting.
Yep. Track
There's another
lighting.
name for the track lighting. Yeah.
Mhm.
So what I was thinking would have like a row here, and it would have like a light pointing down, like a
Mhm.
spotlight onto each of the guitars. And I might want like a grid basically on the ceiling of like
Yeah.
the track. Because then what I could do is like I could have like here above, hanging down, maybe like a shotgun mic.
Yes. Yep.
And that could just be like mic could be, or the
Yeah.
cable could be like run kind of along parallel with the track on the ceiling.
Yeah.
If I got like a 50-foot, fucking, actually I do have like I have like an 80-foot mic cable.
Like XLR cable.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So like things like that where I'm like, I want to make everything as easy as
For sure.
possible out of the way. The workflow would be, really nice and easy. So yeah, I'm trying to figure out, like, I've got a sim rig. I'm probably going to end up having like my digital drum set, but also I have like a real drum set.
Hmm.
I'm going to have a desk for like streaming / editing, then for gaming, and then one for like music production, because
Hmm.
I use my laptop. So it would basically just be a monitor, and I come in and plug my laptop
Yeah.
in. So I'm trying to figure out, like, where do I want the amps? Do I want like the amps here? There's just so many things. I'm trying to move shit around
Yeah.
to figure out, like, where could I fit it all? I have my bicycle smart trainer.
Yeah.
You like mount the bike, so like that would go along. I think this is like a sim rig from the top down, but yeah. So it's like, it'd be cool to have either like a flat screen somewhere or like a projector, maybe.
Yeah.
I
That's
don't know,
dope.
dude. There's
That's a
just
lot.
I just want to
Yeah.
make sure I do it right, from the beginning.
Yeah.
It's like overwhelming.
Dude, I believe it. I 100% believe it. It's going to be sick though. It's going to be worth it.
I hope, dude. I've like emotionally, like committed to it, and then the deal fell through or was gonna
Oh,
fall
yeah.
through. So then
Yeah.
I like talked myself out of, like, I don't need it. I'm not, I can do whatever, blah blah blah. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, there's hope, and
Yep.
so then you like fall back in love with the idea, and then yeah. So it's like I said, it's just been a roller coaster.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I literally can only imagine just buying a house was like stressful enough, having to go through just like 80 extra steps. You know what I mean? Of like more people to talk to, more people to ask questions to, more people that need to get approval for the other guy to approve the thing so that approval can be made on the permit to the thing. And it's like, yeesh, bro. It's like, I get it. I get that it all has to be done, but holy shit.
yeah, and then like even the like money stuff is way more complicated than I even expected to. Because like I used to sell real estate, so I know about real estate closings, and like,
Yeah.
I know what to expect when it comes to standard,
Yeah.
conventional mortgages. But it's so different when it comes to a build, because effectively, so like, we have a nice chunk that's like a down payment. We're not bringing that to the closing. Like normally you bring your
Yeah.
down payment to the
Yeah.
closing, right? At the closing, there's only, like, let's say I'm building $100,000 house.
Yeah.
You might get $15,000 at closing that actually like changes hands.
Yeah.
And that $15,000 goes to me. They do work, and then they basically like bill me.
That's,
And there's a
yeah.
multiple ways of like doing it,
Yeah.
but basically like the bank I'm working with and I have a relationship with, basically like the way it's going to work is I'll open up an account, like a checking account,
Yeah.
with the bank, and then at the scheduled periods where it's like, okay, the first quarter, it's, you're going to be doing the frame, the foundation, all of
Yeah.
the earth moving, all that stuff. That's going to cost X dollars. So we're going to give you a big dump at the beginning. So they give it to me.
That's so weird.
So like, if we have $20,000 allowance for floors, let's say, and like we only spend 15, technically we have like $5,000 left over
Yeah.
there, that it's like we could either pay back the principal immediately, we could use it to buy furniture.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, so there's just so many considerations, and not to mention that for the year, because it's going to take a year to build.
Yeah.
We're paying interest only, which is nice, and that it's not like full.
Yeah.
The problem is like, mortgages are front loaded interest wise anyway.
interest,
So like
yeah.
most of your payment is interest anyway. But the cool part is that like, you're only paying interest only on what you are given.
Oh.
So if they give $10,000, I'm paying.
Yeah, you're not paying like a full
interest on
mortgage
10,000.
payment. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So 3 or 4 months later, it gets like readjusted, and each step of the way, the appraiser goes out and makes sure that like, okay, is this like up to snuff for what, is this actually going to be worth what they say it's worth and what we're lending? Because they obviously don't want to lend, $100,000 for a $70,000 house.
Yep.
So
Zoinks.
Yeah, it's wow.
Zoinks. Damn. Well, I'm glad it's moving in a semi-positive direction thus far.
The last few days have been like major W's. The bank basically is like gave the go ahead. So now we're just waiting on one piece of paperwork, and then it's going to be like applying for building permits and having the appraisal ordered.
Hell yeah.
And we've got, we should have effectively 29 days
to
close.
To close.
So
hell yeah, man.
Cross my fingers, but
that's sick. Double Q.
Yeah. But I mean, I guess all of that pales in comparison to the fact that I'm like a Tarkov gamer.
Oh my god, dude.
I don't know if you heard.
The return Veritas,
of the fucking Jedi,
by the way.
Veritas, yeah.
I'm an idiot. Yes, bro, dude.
You didn't fix it, did you?
I did. I was embarrassed. I can change it back.
No, I don't care. I was just like, I'm not even changing it. I'll give a fuck.
But yes, so we talked about this at the end, silly us, of last week's episode. But as you know, we've got the Patreon where we do additional episodes. You can get ad-free access to these episodes a little early. And Veritas floated the idea of maybe semi-regularly, Veritas and I do one singular Tarkov raid. And I love that because it could be 8 seconds and we die to a cheater off spawn, or it could be a whole raid that's down to the wire and you never know what we're going to get. So we floated the idea, one raid, Veritas's return, and we did it. We did one.
We did a raid, and
it was a raid.
It was a raid. Okay.
But it was a raid.
So if you want to see me coming back to Tarkov for the first time in 2.5 years, and we didn't even go into offline mode to like get my key. Like
we did that shit live.
We did a customs raid. We had a terrible spawn, and I was basically instantly setting up keybinds for 10 minutes in raid because I had never, because I recently got this new PC, right? I haven't played Tarkov since I got the new PC, so there's no settings.
Yeah.
There's none of that stuff. So I had to do all of that over again. The raid was the opposite, genuinely, of what I expected. If you want to watch it, join the podcast Patreon, support your homies.
Link below.
I've got lots of interest-only payments.
Always trying to buy a house. I got kids to feed. Come on. But that was a good time. So hit that if you're interested. If you're already in the Patreon, then go check that out and let us know. It was a fun experience and something we're open to do and just like open to like see where it goes for potential like other games in the future. Let's plays, more Tarkov related stuff, more non-Tarkov related stuff. Like I think we want to do more in the Patreon and stuff like that. And it's just like finding the time or the idea or whatever. And so this was one that we could just like action on, like, let's do it today. Like, and we hopped in the call and we're like, should we do it now before the thing? And like, yeah, and we just did it. So it was good. It was good. So definitely check that out. And speaking of Tarkov, it's been an interesting couple days. We actually got some updates out there. There wasn't really anything going on. The Battlefield beta ended at the end of last week, and so we just kind of been back on Tarkov, and we got some interesting things. So everything was kind of normal. I told you last week that they did the hardcore survey. And I was talking about how like the questions are like, how did you like hardcore? I loved it. It was the best. It was my favorite. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like the answers are tough. They shared the results of that survey, which is sick that they do that. It wasn't anything too crazy. like, so here's, how would you rate the concept of the hardcore wipe? The 4 answers were, I like it overall, but it has nuances. I don't like it. I love it. Neutral. I haven't really formed an opinion yet. So the number one was like 40%. I like it overall, but it has nuances, which is like just an interesting way to phrase that. So that was 40%. And then the second,
I wish it was A, I like it. B, I love it. C, I want more of it.
yeah, gotta have it. Yep. Like it, love it, gotta have it. Aren't those the Cold Stone sizes? Anyways, I don't like it was the second most popular thing at 30%. So 40% of the people said, I like the idea, but I don't know, and then 30% said, I don't like it. 17% said they loved it. And 14% said they were neutral. And then, which changes do you like? How did you like the gradual, whatever? Do you think disabling? This is interesting. So this is fascinating stuff. And obviously, I got ahead of myself. One of the questions is, do you think that playing with the flea market disabled is more interesting? Good question, honestly.
And was these were
in-game
on Twitter, by the way?
Yeah. They posted the results on Twitter.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Do you think playing with the flea market is more interesting? And 50% said yes. 37% said no. And 13% said cannot answer, which I think doesn't really translate to cannot answer, but like maybe unsure or don't have like a strong opinion or whatever.
Like physically my keyboard.
Yeah.
My keyboard.
Can't do one of the other two. I have to.
It stopped working. Help. Like blink twice if you cannot answer.
So it's interesting that it's 50% said which is the highest group. It's not 50-50. It's 50, 37, and 13. But 50% said that they like it. It's more interesting with the flea disabled. Now, separate from this, Nikita did a Twitter poll. And obviously, Twitter polls are going to be much more skewed because this poll, you have to like open the game to play, right? The survey. And then the Twitter poll, literally like people that followed him 6 years ago that haven't played, they could theoretically post, you know what I mean? Also, I would say people on Twitter are much more likely to like bullshit an answer. But his poll on Twitter was flea market, yes or no. And 63% said yes. Like bring the flea market back with 46,000 votes. Now, once again, Twitter, I wouldn't say is like a super reliable mother flipping poll thing, but I just found that to be interesting where like the highest on Twitter said bring it back. And then the highest in game said they kind of like it without it.
Well, yeah, I mean, in the same vein, what was the first one? It was the how would you rate it?
Yeah.
Like I like it overall 39%. I don't like it 29%. Like, what do you come away from that?
Exactly. That's what's so
completely
hard.
Completely meaningless.
That's what's so hard is that like I like it, but it has nuances is the most answered thing. And of that, some amount of the people would be like, the nuance is that you guys pulled punches with it. It should have been more hardcore. And some people's nuances would have been, you guys went way too across the line if you had done just a couple. So it's like that being the biggest piece of feedback is that it has nuance and then not giving any space for the nuance or like, you know what I mean? Saying, it should have been more hardcore. It should like, it was a good idea, but it should have been less hardcore. Even that would have at least kind of given you some vibes. So it's interesting. And then there's, I like it, but obviously, and this isn't anything against BSG, by the way. There's no way you can do this, but that obviously doesn't take into account the people that aren't playing because of the hardcore wipe. Now you can't poll those people with an in-game poll because it's an in-game survey and if they're not playing. So I'm not saying like, I can't believe they didn't, poll, send an email to every single person that downloaded the launcher. Like, no, but I'm just saying, once again, I did a little poll on my YouTube channel, and my channel's in no way representative of the Tarkov community. People could lie. Yes, all the things. But I was just interested. And I said, I want to get a gauge for how much you've been playing Tarkov this wipe. And that's actually because I did a poll saying, how are you enjoying the Tarkov wipe? I've been loving it. I don't mind it. I hate it. It could have been great, but they fumbled it. And I had like 100 comments where like no spot for I'm not playing at all. It was the most commented thing under that poll. So then I was like, okay. So then I did another one and I was like, how much are you playing this wipe? I skipped this wipe altogether. I've been playing more than I play in previous wipes. I've been playing roughly the same as previous wipes, and I've been playing less than previous wipes. And I had 7,000 votes on it, and 60% of the people said I skipped this wipe. Now, once again,
I mean, maybe that's part of that is reflected in the Twitter results.
Yeah,
ignoring the noise. I mean, there's kind of going to be a bunch of noise on the in-game survey as there are with the Twitter survey.
for sure. There's nothing is perfect. I'm glad they're doing it, but yeah.
The analytics, data science kind of engineer in me would have loved to have like sat down with them and talked about a few of these things, because they're
like how to gather some data on it.
They're making, in my opinion, something that's like a fundamental mistake when it comes to gathering information. Well, when it comes to trying to like learn about your customer base, your user base, your player base.
Mm-hmm.
What you don't want to do is say, what information do we want to collect?
Okay.
Oh,
interesting.
let's figure out, whether people would rate it low, mid, high, whatever.
Interesting.
Let's figure it. Because what you end up with is exactly what you have here, which is we have the data.
Mm-hmm.
Now what?
You
start with, what are the questions we want to answer?
Interesting. Okay.
So like, why do people enjoy X feature?
Yeah.
Or maybe, it's tough because what I worked with a few different analytics platforms, and it's not exactly, directly applicable to kind of what they're doing here.
Yeah.
But this gives you kind of an idea. We had the ability to effectively say, and a lot of the information was also automatically tracked when it came to, because we were doing mobile analytics.
Yeah.
So we could go in and we could say, okay, show me all the Android users. So it would automatically just get rid of all iOS users. And it's like, show me all the people that enjoyed
the
wipe. So they answered yes. That would then say, okay, what are some of the answers to some of the other questions? And it becomes kind of like sort of a tree where you start to answer, like, the people that are enjoying it because of this. The people who aren't enjoying it are not enjoying it because of this.
Yeah.
What you don't need to do is have like choose one or more that apply with 700 options.
Yeah.
You need to be smart about how you do this.
Yeah.
But it's just a different mindset and how you approach gathering this information, because the whole point is to learn something that's actionable.
Yes.
And if you have a bunch of data, that doesn't necessarily mean you can answer any questions.
And that's fascinating, because I think like that's interesting. Obviously you have like experience with this maybe in different industries, but like there's some overlap, because I wouldn't have thought of that either. Like, you know what I mean? That is interesting. And that almost like gives words to how I feel about this. I'm like, this is one of the times where I'm not like poo-poo BSG. I'm glad, I wish they maybe had been doing surveys like this sooner, but I'm glad they're doing them. But it is interesting because as I went through the results, I think that's what I was thinking, where like, we take the survey, whatever, and then a couple days later they post the results of the survey and we looked at it on stream. And I think that was the vibe, is like, I went through it and then I was like, what do you do with this information? Like you kind of, you know that 40% of the people like it, but it has nuance. But what do you do with that information? You know what I mean? Like, so that is interesting. And I totally see where you're coming from. And I can understand how that would be challenging, how you ask those questions the right way without having to just be like, choose one of 14 options for each question. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so, just like really quick to give a specific anecdote. So I worked in like the IoT space, robotics, mobile, And with the IoT, Internet of Things, everything's like just connected
Yeah.
to the internet, right? Connected to your Wi-Fi or via Bluetooth to your devices or whatever. And one of the things that we had, because there was different platforms. There's the web platform. There's like the back end that, different things, whether it's mobile devices, whether it's robots, IoT devices, are connecting to the cloud.
Yeah.
So they have like their own sort of statistics, in Amazon. But they were like, okay, let's say we sold 1 million devices this month. Why did only 150,000 devices connect to the cloud?
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, well, we need to figure out why people are choosing not to connect their devices. And it's like, I had to like sit down and have like multiple meetings because basically like we had product people, managers of different teams basically that were like, okay, we want to have this analytics stuff. We need to figure out why people are choosing to whatever. So like, let's put a survey in or whatever. And it was like, you're 5 steps ahead.
Yeah.
You're assuming that they're choosing not to.
Yeah, you're assuming that they know that they can connect it and that a choice is being made that they don't want to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and we were also able to correlate how many people had downloaded the app.
Yeah.
And had also not ever added a device.
Interesting.
The whole point of the app is to connect it with devices. So that would mean that it's like, did they add it and then never come back to it? Did they start the process and they ran into problems?
Yeah.
Like, these are all things where it's like, why? The question is, why are people not doing it? Why are they not connecting their devices? And what we ended up effectively doing was, I had 1 million pieces of data. And again, this is not necessarily directly applicable to this, but we basically were like, okay, there's like 7 stages to provisioning a device to be connected to your Wi-Fi.
Mm-hmm.
Every step of the way, it was like, when you hit that step, it was like, boom, that's an analytics event saying they did this. And we could see how many people were dropping off at each stage. And what we found is that a lot of people were trying to connect. And in step 5 of 7 of the process, they were running into error number 5 and they were quitting and never coming back.
Yeah.
And so from that information, from figuring out, like, trying to answer questions as opposed to just gather data based on assumptions,
exactly.
then we were able to fix the flow. We fixed the UX and we got rid of one bug. And then we went from 20% connected to 90% connected over the course of like 3 months.
And that's the difference between like understanding the question you want answered and just asking like, do you enjoy the app? Yes or no? Like, you would have gotten a lot of no's because they would have hit the error, but they wouldn't have remembered it was error 229. They wouldn't have remembered when they got it. They would have put, no, I don't like the app. And then then in another universe, they might have been like, oh, we need to overhaul the UI of the app. It's not, people don't like the app. And it's like, if you, in that world where you didn't really know the question you were wanting answered, you might end up in a whole nother world. And that's why I understand why they don't, but I'm so interested in all of the stuff that we don't see, because certainly they know how many players play at a normal wipe. They can probably see how many were there on wipe day for this. And then 2 days later, they added the quests back. Did that increase or decrease the amount of players? Then a couple of days later, they added some traders. Did that increase or decrease? And then a couple of days later, they made repairing more expensive for some reason. And I was, did that make less players? But then they added arena. Did that spike arena? And so there's probably a lot of information that would be hella informative to the question of, is our player base enjoying the hardcore wipe? That obviously we don't have access to. They're sharing us the results of the survey here, but there's so much more information that can be pulled from, whether they are or aren't, who knows?
And honestly, they could probably learn a lot more if they just tracked their own analytics. Like, they probably have the raw data in a backwards way, but it would be really cool to be able to have like some analytics backend where you can pull up, effectively have like a UI on top of a bunch of queries that were like, hey, out of all the accounts that have been active in the last 2 years, how many played this wipe? Of the ones that played this wipe, how many raids did they do? What was their average, KD, like whatever. So then you start to look through the data and you start to figure out like, oh, okay, why are people playing? If they are, why? If they aren't, maybe why not?
Yeah.
You know, and some of that you have to ask in surveys. Some of that
Mhm.
you know, do this. But like, so even just the what hardcore wipe changes do you like the most? So like the top answer. So first of all, there was what, like 8, I think, answers.
Yeah.
Hideout doesn't need found and raid items. 100% boss spawn chance. Increased experience for surviving. Disabled flea market. Increased AI difficulty. Secure container restrictions and limited trader item range.
Mhm.
Now, it said changes, but I'm assuming that there was only one selection, or could you choose as many
You
as
could
you
choose as many
wanted?
as you wanted in this question.
2, 3, 4. But wait a minute. Why does it add up to 76, like 77%?
Maybe there were more. I don't remember from the survey that they're like not listing here.
Yeah, okay. So I don't know. So but like the breakdown of the percentages for these like 8 or whatever is 17, 14, 12, 12, 10. So like those are, for all intents and purposes, like equivalent numbers.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
it's not
You
like
could
there's any
read that.
significant.
You could read that as like, oh, what people liked the best was that Hideout doesn't need found and raid. Or you could read that as like they're all within like 3% of each other. You know what I mean? Like depending on how you like view the information.
Yeah, and so again, this all comes down to how you ask the question. Great, 17% of the people say the hideout doesn't need found and raid items, or that they like that. You could say, oh, well, that's the largest number. Clearly, we should implement that in
Yeah.
1.0. But could it also not mean that 83% of players did not like that?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like, what the fuck? Again, what information, what questions are you trying to answer? What are you trying to learn? Not just collect the data and then hope that you, with the data that you've collected,
Yeah.
you'll be able to like the problem will be obvious.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you have to structure it in a way that when these questions are answered, overall,
Yeah.
your major
Yes.
high level
Based
questions
on
will be
the
answered.
options you provide for the person taking the survey, when you get those, you're like, I know what I need to do now. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they just never think about like, put yourself in a position where you have all the data. Let's say the numbers are X, you just throw a bunch of numbers down.
Yeah.
What do we conclude? They never do that, and when they do that, you realize they'll go, huh, yeah, what can we conclude? And I say, fuck all.
Yeah.
Like, we can
Yeah.
conclude dick from these numbers because
Yeah.
we're not asking the right questions.
Yeah. So there was that. There was that survey. Then there was he did the flea market survey, and then Nikita. I did react to this a little bit on stream. I was like reading some of the replies, but Nikita tweeted. Well, he was like, "Let's discuss the hardcore wipe here. I'm definitely seeing that there is some good and some bad. That's why we were testing it. Let's be constructive. Those who really want to share with the hardcore perspective, let you know." So that was kind of like interesting to see once again all the different perspectives, where like if you put it in a survey thing, it's like I like it or I don't like it or I kind of like it but it has nuance. Everyone seems really homogenized into those three, but then when you like what do you not like about it or what do you like about it, then the kind of the opinions range wildly. Nothing really like surprising there or really worth mentioning, but a lot of people were kind of hitting the nail on the head for a lot of the things we've said. But then yesterday, we got a tweet that said, due to planned maintenance on the data center, Tarkov and Arena servers will be unavailable from 5 p.m. Eastern to 11 p.m. Eastern to avoid potential problems with progression. So that was weird because it wasn't a patch, and like we have no idea if that was like they were doing something to their data centers, if like freaking Cloudflare was like, hey, there's downtime or whatever. Like I have no idea, but they let the players know that instead of hoping, crossing our fingers and hoping everything works, we're just going to take the game down. And apparently they took the game down a little bit early and that downtime got extended. And then to this morning, we got patch 16.9, the game went down at 3 a.m. and then was supposed to be 6-hour downtime, so up at 9. So the game went down from like 4:30 to like 1 a.m. and then it came back up for like 2 hours, and then it went back down at 3. And that was supposed to come up at 9 a.m. and the game didn't come back up until like 12:30, close to 1 p.m. So they tweeted that they extended the downtime, but it was extended by another like 3.5 hours of a 6-hour downtime. And it's not a wipe. And so it was like, we were like, whoa. So we got patch 16.9, which a large part of it was ref coming to PvE mode and all of the things about that to make sure that that's not broken. Because what they don't want is you to be able to like farm money in PvE and then send that money to ref and then send that money to your PvP character, right?
Yeah.
They don't want to break the economy. So you can send, so basically it's like you have one arena account and you can send money to your PvE account or your PvP account, but you can't send anything from your PvE account to your arena account. Like it's a one-way street because they don't want it to basically end up affecting PvP. But they added it. So now if you're a PvE Andy, you can like do all the ref tasks lines. You can get the Theta container. You can unlock the stuff that he unlocks from there. I know that PvE players have been wondering for a long time now where the hell that is. And that's in the game. So poggers. They did some audio fixes. Cool. They changed the surgery kit to auto prioritize legs. Pog. Like if you're just double clicking as opposed to like dragging it to a place.
Interesting.
Yeah. That kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Normally the priority goes stomach, legs, anything else. If your stomach is blacked.
Well, that's what I was gonna say was that like I would rather prioritize the stomach.
Yeah.
I mean, like, think about the raid we just had.
Oh yeah.
I blacked out an arm, a stomach,
And a leg.
and a leg. And then, you know, I had propped a Propitol. And I think in the middle of the fight, I think I popped morphine too.
Yeah.
Because I got all limpy and I'm limpy.
I'm limpy.
Was that me? Was that you or was that
It
me?
was you. We were playing Arena.
Okay, yeah, I vaguely recall that. Dude, that's a throwback. Yeah, so and I instantly noticed, I'm like, oh fuck, I have 0
hydration and energy.
Because the first thing I did was click and drag over to my stomach.
Yeah.
To fix, and I wasn't even thinking about the stomach. It had been so long, I forgot about hydration and energy. I forgot they existed.
Yep. You
know, so I just clicked and drag, and then I repaired the stomach, instantly got zeroed out again because I was dehydrated.
Yep.
So I'm like, no, what the fuck is, oh, okay. And it's like,
yep.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe, I mean, maybe not. I guess maybe it makes sense that you'd want to do the legs.
It depends.
Like the legs are what will kill you for sure, potentially.
Yeah. There are definitely situations like if you've won the fight, you want to do stomach 911. If you're still in the fight, you might want to do leg 911 and tank the hydration damage because, you know, you want to be able to like move and him not go, ooh, ah, ee, while you're running around. So,
yeah, see, but I also I rarely will just like hit the med hotkey.
Oh, for a CMS, yeah.
Yeah, and I guess it depends on what the situation is, but like if I know I've got like a heavy bleed, yeah, I'll just, you know, spam that so that it fixes the heavy bleed.
Yeah.
But usually if there's any point at which like I I have a second of downtime, even if I'm behind a truck and people are shooting,
Yeah.
I will still open up the menu and see like what's the situation.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you can be like really fucked up and it's not super obvious.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like if everything is at 10%.
Yep. Or you can seem really fucked up, but in reality, you only need to hit one heal and then you're back in the fight. If you don't have any black limbs or fractures and everything is minus 20 HP, just heal the thorax and swing. It's like if you're getting shot in the arm, it's going to black anyway. Like you really only need to pop that one heal and then you can swing that shit. You know what I mean?
So if you got hit center mass and legs and whatever and everything's fucked up, I just put it on the chest. Now I don't know if it prioritizes the chest or not. It's been so long.
Well, the quality of life update that has been so great. It's been in the game for like a year now or more. Is if you hold the med and use your scroll wheel, it lists all your limbs and shows their HP value. So you don't have to tab to see that anymore. So I can just scroll and go, and basically in an instant go, oh yeah, I just need thorax. Or like you can see how many fractures, where the bleeds are. It's so nice. It was like one of the biggest W changes that you can get that glimpse not having to tab. So you can see someone pushing you. There's not the audio cue of you opening up your backpack so you can hear if someone's creeping. It's so nice. But the big things to talk about in the patch are new balancing changes to the hardcore wipe mechanics. Returned access to the flea market. This is one everything was on the table for me. This was the one where I thought had the least likelihood to come back at any point during the wipe. I thought that they were basically going to work their way back to normal Tarkov sans Flea. Like slowly but surely, they were going to work their way back. So I was very surprised to see this. Returned access to the flea market, but you have to be level 35 to unlock it. And you only get one flea market listing, whereas traditionally you start with 3. So you can put one thing and then you just have to wait until it sells to put anything else up.
It's just inconvenient. That's all it is, dude. It's not hardcore. It's just inconvenient.
Yes. Does leave metabolism stop your stomach from draining your energy? No, but it stops you from taking damage when you have no energy. Yeah, bro, the flea is I was really flabbergasted by it because in my opinion, if you're putting the flea back, you're kind of like, in a sense, not wholly, don't take this too seriously, but in a sense, giving up on the hardcore wipe thing. Like the flea was the banner of the hardcore. That's all really people wanted out of a hardcore wipe was get rid of the flea. So if you're bringing it back, you're kind of like sailing that ship away. And so to bring it back at level 35, this wipe, it's been tremendously hard to level. Like normally 6 or 7 weeks into a wipe, most people, maybe not most, but a higher percentage of people would be level 35. This wipe, it's like, I would say that like most people are in the 20s. So, and getting from 20 to 35 is no small task. So it's like, it's super weird to me. And then the one slot is just an inconvenience because most people price things at a point where it's like they price it under, so it's probably going to sell in like the next 5 minutes. So just like forcing people to sit there and wait for like it to sell and then have to sell another one. It's just that's another one that just seems so arbitrary. So I was really surprised. And then we and then we were talking about how the BSG like scapegoats the streamers so often, where like I bet if you lined up 1,000 escape from, I don't even think there are, but if you line up 1,000 escape from Tarkov streamers and ask them what level the flea market should be unlocked, every single one of them is saying like 15, 10, doesn't matter, open it day 1. But because they make it 35, it seems like it's a change made just so the high levels and the no-lifers and the streamers can get access to the flea. So then immediately everybody's like, only these motherfucking unemployed streamer-ass bitches get the flea, fuck them. And it's like, we don't want that shit, bro. Like, dude, and they do that shit all the time. It's crazy. So that was very confusing. A welcome change for me because, like, once again, I think the hardcore wipe could have been sick. I think they fumbled it sufficiently that I was excited to get back to normal Tarkov. So I was welcoming the addition of the Flea again, but 35 just seems so crazy, bro. So random, so arbitrary. I don't know. The only like tinfoil hat thing I can put on is like they just want to ease into it so that the economy doesn't explode. They're going to do 35 and then like a week from now they're going to lower it to 25 and then a week from now they're going to lower it to 15 and that way like that's the only like thing I could think of, but it just seems so weird, bro.
Yeah.
Like what are we hanging on to? Like I would this is one of the few things I actually want to like DM and community manager and be like, I'm not here to like chastise or criticize. I just gotta know. In the office, somebody like they were like, should we bring that to Flea? Sure. Somebody in the office was like, we should put that shit at 35. And I just want to know why. I want to know why people agreed. Like I more than I want them to change it. I'm just so like, why? What are we holding on to, bro?
This is their attempt. Like normally, you know, one of the criticisms we have historically is like they only have like 2 settings.
Mm-hmm.
Way too much, way too little.
Yeah.
This is like they're we'll middle ground it by like, you know, I'll kick you in the nuts but hand you like an apple pie. You know, you get it back except most people won't get it back.
Yeah, I'll kick you in the nuts and hand you an apple pie, and every 17th person will get the apple pie. Everybody else just gets the kick in the nuts.
Yeah, you know, and from every angle, you know, maybe I'm a simpleton, but like it just doesn't make sense because it's either like a feature that you want people to take advantage of and you want to be some part of the game,
yeah,
or it isn't,
yeah.
Or another alternative is that they don't want, you know, like you were saying, they don't want it to like blow up in the beginning, you know, but that to me, that's just, it's such an arbitrary, temporary thing that literally affects the vast majority of people that it affects are the people who are like no life grinders.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because 2 weeks from now, when normal people who aren't like on the wipe schedule jump into the game, that change to like ease into the, you know, it effectively doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, I'm with you.
You know, so it's just,
and yeah, I mean, like you said, you bring up an interesting point, which is like, this is one of the features, like Lightkeeper being locked behind a quest that you need to be level 45 to get. That might be done like an arbitrary kind of like brute force type of way, but it's at least conceptually understandable because you go, oh, Lightkeeper's an end game trader only dealing in end game things and end game quests. It would make sense that someone would have to be like later in the wipe. The like concept of the flea market doesn't make sense as an end game only thing because like what do we like the level 40s are just buying and selling what to each other, and like, you know what I mean? It's just, you wouldn't put like AI2 cheese locked behind therapist level 4 because that's ass backwards. By the time I get there, I don't need the cheese. And I'm not saying by the time you get to 35, you don't need the flea. I'm just saying the concept of the flea is the like player to player exchange. Putting that behind like, yeah, but you have to play like a whole shitload of the game first. It just doesn't feel like it makes sense.
And late game, what you kind of want to do, it's kind of similar to like if you're playing an ARPG, right?
Yeah.
You want to be autopilot. You're not going and questing. You're playing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. You're grinding dungeons, you're whatever, so that you can farm XP, you can collect what. So part of the utility the utility of the flea market is that it's like a passive way to basically put on autopilot like while I'm gone, turn stuff that I've gathered into money.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right? Like it's a way of like passive farming effectively, right?
Yeah.
So, and so then adding it at 35 and making it so that you can only have one listing,
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense at any aspect, at any layer, at any level.
Yeah,
None of it
that's
makes
what I'm
sense.
saying. I don't. And once again, and if you were a like, I'm sad they brought the Flea back person,
Getting fucking heartburn.
I get you. Like, in a sense, I am too. Once again, I'm glad they brought it back today because I think the hardcore wipe is basically a failed experiment and we need to get back to normal Tarkov. But I am very pro, like a real Tarkov, thoughtful Tarkov wipe where we don't have the Flea. Like if we had a couple more before 1.0, I'd be very pro trying again with no Flea, with like actual rebalanced traders and actual rebalanced loot. Like I'm not, this isn't coming from a like, they brought the Flea back, they should just make it level 1 and everyone should have 100 listings. Like I'm just coming at this from the perspective of like, if they decided to bring it back, like why choose this for the like, well, middle ground it. We'll just bring back one listing and you have to, get level 35. It's so interesting and interesting in the context of some of the other changes. So that was one of the new balancing changes to the hardcore wipe mechanics. Returned access to the flea market, level 35 with the ability to place one. Oh, and the flea market is back to being found in raid only. The flea market was not found in raid because found in raid didn't exist. Then they introduced found in raid. This is all back when you were playing. And then the whole time since then, the flea market had been found in raid only. Not this wipe, not last wipe, but the wipe before that. At the end of that wipe, somebody on Twitter was like, can we just at least for like a week, just try no found in raid flea? And Nikita went, sure. And they disabled found in raid flea. And now found in raid was still in the game as a mechanic, but the flea, you could put anything up. You could shove something in your ass, whatever. That lasted for the rest of that wipe. And then last wipe, they just never changed it. So the entirety of last wipe was no found in raid flea. And I didn't see hatchlings everywhere. I didn't see that, hatchling apocalypse. It was a pretty normal. I didn't hear really throughout the entirety of last wipe, I didn't really hear anybody complain or even say it was good. Like nobody was talking about it. It was just the flea. And then the hardcore wipe happened. Then we got no flea. And then the flea's back, level 35 only, one listing, and it's back to being found in raid. So I'm just getting whiplash on what we're doing with the flea. I'm just getting whiplash with what they're doing with the flea. And this will be a nice little freaking twister for you. I found out, I was like, yo, you can't put any ammo on the flea. They had previously restricted certain ammos, like high tier ammos, but you could put low and mid tier ammos up. You could buy those things off the flea if you wanted to. And I realized today, I was like, you can't put any ammo on the flea. None at all. I was like, that's interesting. I was like, that seems like a really intentional change. Like, what if we had the flea, but like ammo was completely not a part of it? I had talked before about like, what if the flea existed, but there was no ammo and there were no guns and there was no armor and it was like a whole different thing.
Is that foreshadowing when you said that feels like an intentional change? Is that foreshadowing?
Yes.
There's a literary device that sometimes people use to put as foreshadowing.
And then someone in chat was like, yeah, they got rid of the found in raid mechanic for ammo last wipe. And I was like, oh yeah. So last wipe, we had the flea was no found in raid. So you could put anything you wanted on the flea, which meant ammo being found in raid or not was only annoying because found in raid ammo wouldn't stack with non-found in raid ammo. So you would like try to like fill your magazine, but then you would have to like go find the ammo. And it was really annoying. And there was no reason for that because listing things on the flea was independent. So as a quality of life measure, they removed the found in raid status from all ammo since you could list it anyway. And I think they just forgot to undo that. So I don't think it's intentional that you can't put ammo on the flea market now. I just think they forgot that one sector of the loot they just like lifted the found in raid mechanic from, and they haven't touched it since.
And the sad thing is that there's a universe where it was a mistake and they'd fix it and whatever. There's a universe where it was a mistake. They don't want to admit it was a mistake. They actually realize, like, actually, no, it's kind of actually good. Actually, if you like actually think about, like, actually, blah, blah, blah. So we're actually going to keep it there. And now there's a feature that makes zero sense. That is this arbitrary, that a new player comes in and they're like, oh, okay, there's this found in raid feature. I can list things like quests, all this stuff makes, and then, but why can't I just pick this up from the last, does this feature not work? Is the game bugged? What's happening?
Yes. And it's so crazy because when you and I in the past were like, they need to redo the found in raid feature, it needs to have more flags. It needs to be slightly more complex, because if it's slightly more complex, it's 10 times more intuitive and affords 10 times more fun gameplay mechanics. And people were like, that's dumb. You're overcomplicating it. Now, your pie chart, you remember that or not pie chart, your chart you made? That's outdated. Because now you have to know that when you craft something from the hideout, it is found in raid, unless it's ammo, in which your crafted ammo is not found in raid. And also money is no longer found in raid for the same thing, because those stacks. So if you find money in raid, it's not found in raid. And it's like, it's so much more complicated and convoluted and arbitrary than any of the examples or fixes we provided, but those fixes were criticized as too complicated. The sky is basketball, bro. The sky is basketball.
Bro, it's God, and I already know that people are like, you want to add more to it? You want to add more to it? And you think it's going to make more sense? And it's like, you don't understand. Like, they would be happy to be on the BSG dating app where there's only two categories.
Mm-hmm.
Hot girls and not hot girls. Okay. Now, but there are hot girls who, like, maybe like lost their legs in an accident and, like, but they were hot before, like the burn victim thing. And, so like maybe, but also, like, we made the app so we don't prefer like this particular kind of person. So, like, that kind of person is always in the unattractive category, even if, like, conceptually they were attractive. Like, if you know this thing about them, like, it's like, but there's two categories, 100%. Man. It's easy. 100%. And it's like, no, well, imagine if you could have all the properties, like, oh, what's their age? What's their gender? What's their nationality? What's their political views? Like, Dude, but like, that's too complicated.
Yeah, 100%. Another good example is, like, imagine if in your car.
It's a terrible metaphor, by the way.
Imagine if in your car there were literally only two buttons. And one of the buttons turned the car on, did all the AC things, all of your lights, all of the windshield wiper things. The other button, single button, rolled down the windows, locked and unlocks the things, opens your door, and changes your driving mode. It's not called a mode, whatever it is. Everything in your car down to two buttons. You know that to open the window, you go click, 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 hold press, long press, then click, 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 Morse code, dot, 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 dot. Window goes down, and they're constantly patching it, and they're constantly changing it, and all the two buttons do fucking different things every time. And then I go, what if there was a handle that opened the door, a button that rolled down the window, and a button that locked it? And you guys go, you want to triple the amount of buttons? That's fucking insane. And it's like, sometimes more means less. Sometimes you can do a whole lot more with more. And that's exactly how it feels. And now we have this, like, what is found in raid? Well, you have to find it in raid, but if you die with it, then it's no longer found in raid. But if you survive with it, but you only had 600 XP, not 700 XP, it's also not found in raid. But if you survive with it, it is found in raid. If you craft it out of raid, it's found in raid, but it's not ammo. Ammo's never found in raid. No, ammo's never. Shut up, idiot. No, ammo's never found in raid. And then some quests you need found in raid things, some quests you don't. The hideout, it used to be found in raid. You used to need the things found in raid, but now there's more things, but they're not found in raid. Now you can buy them off the Flea. The Flea store, and it's like, and that's what you're explaining to me as the less complicated thing? Like, what are we talking about? It's insane.
Yeah, your metaphor, the car metaphor was a lot better than mine. Considering
you got
that,
me
like,
going though. I got that while you were doing the dating app metaphor.
Yeah, the problem is that, like, the guys who the people who would comment the mean things on our YouTube videos saying that it's a dumb idea, are also the guys that are subbed to exactly 2 subreddits,
Yeah.
which is the Escape from Tarkov subreddit and the Incel subreddit. It's unrelatable. The moment I said girls, they were like, it doesn't.
Wait, what? Yeah, I don't know. So, anyways, so I forgot to mention that flea market's back, level 35 only one listing, flea market back to found and raid. Which is so funny because that's a 180. Last wipe, the news was that the flea was not going to be found in raid, but all the hideout items required it to be found in raid. And then this wipe, the hideout items no longer are required to be found in raid, but we're back to a found in raid flea.
And once again, oh my god, it's just so funny because the way that they designed the feature and named it,
yes,
makes any changes that might be reasonable changes, might be dynamic, might be cool, might be interesting. It makes them instantly confusing and unintuitive as fuck for people who are veterans, for people who just came back, for brand new players, because it's different. It's arbitrarily different. And the whole time, the words don't mean what the words mean.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
You know, like oh God, fuck, Jesus.
So that was that. In addition to that, we also they reverted the trader prices and values to before the hardcore wipe. They reverted the scav cooldown values to what was before the hardcore wipe. They returned some missing barters to the traders that they took away because of the hardcore wipe. And they returned the ability to insure from therapist to proper. The reason insuring was so expensive because you had to insure with fence, and fence is always scamming you. So they brought proper and therapist back, which meaning insuring is completely normal pricing, $80K for a full kit now instead of $800 or $900K. So my stream title today was like the hardcore wipe is over. Because at this point, they've removed pretty much everything. I'm scrolling back to find the initial hardcore things of the stuff we got for the hardcore wipe. We got no traders, which came back. Reduced spawn of rare loot. They've significantly buffed loot. The flea market disabled. That's now back. The increased hideout requirements is still here. It still takes double the amount of things to upgrade your hideout. The transit stuff was rolled back. The reduced item selling stuff was rolled back. The limited trader interaction was not rolled back, but slowly rolled off. They gave us more and more traders. The secure container restrictions are still in the game. Can't put meds, can't put money, can't put ammo in your secure container. The boss was 100%. Now it's 50%. Increased experience for surviving. I think that's still in. I haven't really noticed that, but yeah. So of all the changes from the hardcore wipe, the only 2 that remain is that it takes a shit ton more stuff to upgrade your hideout, and the secure container changes, and the flea market is 35 and you only have 1 listing and it's back to being found in raid. So it's pretty much which it kind of the way Nikita was tweeting, it felt like last night I was it kind of feels like they're closing this up, because he had been how did you feel about it? We tested this, so it was they're probably closing this up. So once again, with all that in mind, one of the things that's still in is repairing costs 10 times extra. Ask me if I found an armor repair kit yet. This is now week 3. No, none. I can buy one on the flea market now, but I haven't found one. But they increased the spawn of them because...
Play more, dude.
Yeah.
Play more.
Yeah. So now, even in with the context of all that, because the change today wasn't just hey, we're going to make a small tweak to the hardcore wipe, we're going to add back the flea. We're literally the trader's going back to normal, scaveng's going back to normal, insurance is going back to normal, we're bringing some of the barters back, and we're bringing the flea market back. It makes it even less sense now to be then why arbitrarily put the flea market at 35? Because today's patch was basically here's normal Tarkov again with 1 or 2 differences. Why is it 35? You know what I mean? What are we holding on to? What are we hanging on to in terms of the hardcore wipe is what I'm curious about. Yeah, I don't know. We got the fall weather season, which looks kind of nice. And then we got a new in-game event. We're not sure where it goes, but it's like a bunch of quests. We were working through the quest line. What was unfortunate was, like we said, it was supposed to be a 6-hour downtime. It was a 9.5-hour downtime, which was right on the back of an extended downtime for the data center thing. And then when the game came up, in the 2.5 hours after the game came up, we only played 2 raids because everybody was getting kicked out of raids and or kicked out of matching, or you would extract and your screen would fade to black and you would just sit there permanently. You could hear the ambient noise of the map and it was just black. So so that was like, it was a rough day. Like I streamed for like 9.5 hours and I played for like 3 hours of Tarkov, which is fine. I enjoy kind of just sitting and chopping it up with chat when there's downtime. But that was that. So very intriguing. We still have the secure container changes, which I find interesting. There's like there's still a couple of things that you like can't buy from the traders that I genuinely can't tell if it's because they forgot they took them off the traders or if it's because in their brain we're still in the hardcore wipe. You know what I mean? Like you can't buy CMSs still. Well, I mean, but you can buy them on the Flea, so I guess it matters less because I can buy them on the Flea. So it's just I don't know, bro.
I just had a flashback to my old job at the indoor skydiving wind tunnel. One of my one of the guys that I worked with, hilarious dude. This kid Kyle. He hated the owners, our bosses. And I mean, I'm gonna like long story short, the TLDR is we were always like looking for her because she like was like, you can't make decisions without me, blah blah blah. One of his most common lines that he would say was, I never know what she's doing. I never know what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's like, I just heard Kyle say, I never know what they're doing out loud.
Mm.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. 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 So yeah, that's that. Once again, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer and I don't want to be that guy, but it doesn't necessarily like instill a shit ton of confidence in like this patch and then all the bugs and like, what are we doing? Are we hardcore still or are we not? Like looking towards 1.0. A couple of people seemed to be like, I don't know if they were just baiting or if they were actually thinking this is true, but they were posting like, this is the last patch before 1.0. I think this is just the last patch on the roadmap. Like, you know what I mean? Like this was the last patch on the roadmap. I imagine we're going to have like bug fix patches or maybe more hardcore stuff rolling off. Like, I don't think the game is like untouched as it is now until 1.0 necessarily.
But I mean, like realistically speaking, though, the question is, the game like 1.0 is, I mean, yes or no, 99.9% of what we have now is 1.0.
I think that's my assumption.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, at the end of the day. So I ask this then.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, why is anyone excited for 1.0 if they're just not excited to play the game now?
Yeah.
It's like people, it feels as if, and I get it.
Yeah.
Because it's like kind of intuitive in a way, to think this way, where it's like 1.0 is this thing we've been waiting for. I picture it as this almost like a totally different game, and then I put that in the closet and lock the door to when I talk about like what changes are going to be made, and it's like, well, not that much. But like those two thoughts are not in their head at the same time.
Because I think superficially, if you said, hey, there's been a game that's been in beta for a while, it's going 1.0, you should check it out. I think like just with that context, 9 out of 10 people would think that would mean like, oh, they made the game feature complete. Everything they wanted to put in, they put in, and they probably like fixed the bugs, tighten up the performance. They're launching the game. So I think that like intuition around like, oh, well, if it's 1.0, like it's going to be much more optimized. There's going to be a lot more features. They're going to have locked it in. Whereas I think this is, 10, 12 years in the making, 8 years of being in beta. I think this is more of a like sprint to the finish line, close all the tabs and just get things done, as opposed to like a real, because once again, like, and I really don't want to just give them a hard time. I don't want to just be a Debbie Downer. But once again, in the roadmap we got in May, the August patch included interchange optimization and expansion. In the roadmap that we got in June, the August patch said shoreline, ground zero, and interchange optimizations. In the community digest we got 1 month ago, the August patch said shoreline and ground zero optimizations. And in the patch we got today, which is the August patch, there were no mention of any optimizations to any map. So once again, I'm not trying to just bully them or be a dick. When that has been the pattern for like literally the better part of a decade, I have a hard time thinking that like whatever delayed the interchange expansion and then delayed the interchange optimizations and then delayed the ground zero optimizations and then delayed the shoreline optimizations. I just have a hard time thinking like all that gets wrapped up in a bow in the next 3 months. I just like, so
and this whole time, we never know what they're doing.
Yeah, we never know the utility of any of it. So I want 1.0 to be banging as much as the next guy, maybe more, right? I would like selfishly benefit my career. I want absolutely nothing but W's. I have not crossed into that threshold where I want the game to die, where I want the game to fail. Even if they do it accidentally, even if they like somebody, a homeless person stumbles in and goes, you should change this. And they go, why didn't anybody tell us that? And it's everything we've been telling them the whole time. I don't care. I want this game to succeed. I want its potential to be reached. I want the game to grow again. I want the community to be excited. So I will like so happily, so like joyously, deliciously on air, live recorded, eat my words and say I was wrong about everything. Like I want that more than anything. But I think you're right. I think 1.0 is largely the game we have today with a new quest line called main quest lines and maybe even some freaking cutscenes in there and terminal. Like I think Streets is still going to run like shit. I think Labs is still going to be full of cheaters. Like I think we're at 98% of 1.0, but I want to be wrong. I hope I'm wrong.
I'm gonna disagree with myself for a moment here, because I will say, if there's one thing that Nikita has done a number of times since he started developing this, right? He has giga surprised us a few times. Remember airdrops? We had no idea what was coming.
For sure. Labyrinth event was crazy.
Winter, we had no idea was coming.
Yep.
So it is not necessarily impossible that there, might be some
maybe even just one or two
unforeseen
really impactful features. Yeah.
But that's kind of like, here's the thing. If that's true, let's say you are Nikita and that's true, you need to just like shut the fuck up and eat everyone being salty.
Yes.
About the game not having the things that they want, because like you can't say I'm going to hold this surprise.
Yeah.
Knowing that people are going to be salty and then be mad that they're salty.
Yeah.
It's like you either have to embrace it, expect it.
Yeah.
And like kind of.
And I completely agree with you. And once again, I hope for that. I think realistically, you shouldn't expect it because then you're setting yourself up for disappointed. appointment. But I agree. I hope that 1.0 has several of those things. I hope they have features that they maybe were ready 3 wipes ago, but they were like, you know what? This is a perfect 1.0 thing. Let's just iterate on it. Let's just make sure it's great. It's going to change the game. For sure. I want that. And I will gladly like proclaim from the mountaintops that that's what happened when 1.0 happens, if they do that. But what doesn't instill a whole lot of confidence is the hardcore wipe. You know, we talked about this, how late in the game 1.0 is next. It doesn't instill a lot of confidence that they have a clear, consistent vision at the office that every developer understands for what 1.0 is going to be. If at the 11th hour, we're changing shit up, we're doing Twitter polls, we're doing surveys, we're testing, what do you think about this? To some of the most foundational and integral pieces of the game, the flea market on or off, that dictates the economy. Like realistically, if like they had unlimited time and unlimited budget, flea market off or on, that's like just a funny Twitter poll to Nikita, but that's like the foundation of thousands of man hours worth of work, assuming the game was perfect. Because if no, everything about the loot economy needs to be changed. If no, which I'm down for, let's do no flea market. But then the traders have to be rebalanced, and the loot has to be rebalanced, and the locked rooms have to be rebalanced. But if we do keep the flea, well, then you can't balance it that way. They might have to be rebalanced a different way. So like, that's why I can't really like hope, because we're at the 11th hour asking like, do you think there should be guns in this game? And I'm like, oh my God, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so I guess what I was saying was that like whatever the change is going to be, it's probably going to be like if there is anything, it's going to be something that was like, we didn't see that coming. That's kind of sick.
Yeah,
it changes the game in this particular way.
Yeah,
that is like airdrops. You can't say that airdrops didn't change the game,
for sure.
But like, is it really a different game if you just take out airdrops?
Yeah.
Not really,
Not
right?
really.
Like,
yeah,
because how many raids do you run where you are interacting with an airdrop directly? Like what percentage?
Sub 1%. Genuinely.
So it's like a really cool, sick feature that, you know, changes the game, but at the end of the day, it doesn't actually change anything.
And
so
that's actually, just really quickly, a whole nother arm of this conversation, which is that features that have the ability to change the game, but don't change the game, not because the feature doesn't have the ability to, because it's balanced that way. Genuinely, airdrops would have actually been a game-changing addition to the game in a way such that the game would be a different game without them if they were ever balanced. They are never worth it. So it's like, you asked what the percentage of raids I interact with an airdrop. A better question is, what percentage of raids that an airdrop lands at my feet do I loot it? And that's sub 10%, because they're just like, but airdrops could have. So that's a whole nother layer to it too.
Yikes.
Anyways, that's that. Very like uber quickly, they actually kind of cooked with an arena update. Once again, you know, you don't see me like grinding arena, but I respect that they have continued to like make this game better and better and better and better and better. So they talked a lot about adding ref. They like overhauled the audio on almost every single map. And I've heard from some people playing that it genuinely sounds a lot better. Not a whole lot of data points yet, but some people in my chat do mainly play arena, and they said it's a lot better. They added weapon tasks. So like specific tasks to do with a weapon to gain additional camos. So like get an ace in Blast Gang like a certain amount of times and you unlock a camo. Kill, 3 people with like, I think it was like 3 people with 1 magazine a certain amount of times in any game mode or whatever. So that's pretty cool. And then
what would be neat is if they just random super quick note, if they were like something kind of like a daily challenge or whatever, where it was like, if you use the AK-74 for the next 24 hours, you get like 10x XP.
Yeah, that would be sick.
With that weapon.
Yeah, that would be sick.
There's no downside to just not doing it.
Yeah. That would be sick.
So
but I like the idea of weapon tasks. This is sick too. The first 1,000 players who complete a weapon task for a specific weapon will unlock a unique account-tied number tag for that weapon. So like every time you click on the AK, it like will say somewhere like 673 Like you were the 673rd person. I think that's sick. Like obviously the no-lifers are going to get that, but I just think that's like almost like a prestige level thing to like grind for the no-lifers that doesn't in any way hurt anybody else playing the game. I think that's sick. They added a quick game button to the main menu, allowing you to start matchmaking in all games and all locations in unranked. You just quick game, boom. That's cool. They added a next game button that is available right at the end of the match and allows you to start matchmaking based on your previously selected settings. So if you were just in checkpoint on Bay 5, instead of having to exit, next, exit to main menu, checkpoint, Bay 5, go, right at the game end, you just go next game. W.
Dude, that's incredible how many of these, like, there have been so many intelligent, like, utilitarian, thoughtful,
yeah,
like UX changes. There has to be a new employee since, in the last
whoever
year
worked
or
on
two,
the search feature was cooking with this too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just too many practical solutions to problems that they not even that they were like waiting to fix, but that were like actively scoffed at as being like not not worthwhile.
And then there's like 8 paragraphs on adjustments to the different classes, like a really detailed, like almost Arc Raiders level of like, hey, in this patch, we noticed this, that there were too many headshot kills, basically meaning like a certain amount of people were always getting headshot, which we saw as a, positive because it's a competitive game and you want this. But the negative is that players don't often have time to react. And then what they're doing, they reduce the ricochet chance they reduced the ricochet chance on helmets so that there was less RNG around headshots. And then they like balanced like leg ammo or this. And then they took some guns and some ammos off some classes. There was like literally a whole paragraph or two on each class, like Enforcer, what they want the Enforcer to be. And because of that, what they're going to change to their kit. They changed the limb damage from, 1 to 0.8 so that leg meta was a little bit less viable. They're trying to get, center mass or headshots. Then scout, then assault, then marksman. I was like, oh shit, bro. Like, this is kind of sick. Like, if you're playing arena, I think you're kind of eating well, dude. Like, it really feels like, once again, there's a universe where the comment section is like, bro, what are you talking about? That wasn't a good change. That was the worst thing. Like, I don't play arena enough to have read those things and gone, oh, those balancing changes are great. So forgive me if they're bad. But it at least gives off a vibe that, like, because the big thing about arena initially was that they were like, they didn't know what they were doing. Remember they did the like unlock thing? You had to like play with this kit and then you unlock this kit and then you had to choose between these. And they've gone through, that was the original one. They've gone through so many things. Now it feels like, I use this word a lot. It feels like there's like a consistent, cohesive vision. Now it feels like they've got the 4 classes. They know what they want to do with it. They like the custom presets better, but they want to make sure that it's balanced. They want, headshots and body shots to be valuable, but they don't want every headshot to be like, it's like, once again, it feels like I'm so sad, bro, because of this arena launched. Like, remember when everyone was like, yo, this could be nuts. Like, the arena's a meme now, but pre-ref and like when arena didn't come out, people were like, this could be like industry changing. Like, this could be sick. There was actually a lot of hype. If this arena launched, holy moly, bro. And I'm so sad that they kind of like freaking, I don't know, just didn't get this game would have almost, maybe not quite, but almost matched the hype wave that was there. But, it happens after the fact, so. Oof.
It's the... No, I'm not going to make that metaphor.
Oh, man.
I'm just going to slowly tiptoe away from what was in my head.
Okay. Have you seen arena stats are broken? Everyone is boosting skills. Okay, well, maybe not everything is great in the arena patch. But I don't know.
Is it going good in the garden?
But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the Tarkov news. We're in a weird spot. I've been playing a lot of the finals every once in a while. Super fun. Battlefield 6 kind of ended on a little bit more of a sour note. Like the second weekend, they made some changes to Rush that people didn't like. There was like some leaks about Battlefield maybe trying to like annualize their game like COD, where they have 3 different studios working on 3 different Battlefield games every like week 1. The Battlefield beta was like hype as fuck, and then at the end of week 2, there was a little bit less of that rosy sentiment. But
Yeah.
bro, did you see the trailer for Call of Duty Black Ops 7?
No.
Dude, I am not one of those like moral, ethical COD haters. Like same, like I would hop into Fortnite and have fun. I think if a good COD came out, I'd download it immediately and play. Like, you know, like I just want good games. Holy shit, bro. The new COD trailer, I watched that and I was like, this looks so ass. It just looks,
AI generated.
dude, it just looked so bad. It looked old. Like the graphics, like I feel like Battlefield 4 looked better than freaking Black Ops 7 looks. Ugh, dude, I don't know. It was
Now,
funny.
So I haven't seen that, but have you seen the trailer for season 2 of Fallout?
Yes.
Bro, I watched that today. That I'm rock hard.
Yeah, that looks sick. All the New
Holy
Vegas
shit.
stuff, like,
dude, it was just like that's in the game. That's in the game. Like
Mhm.
it was just seeing like the fucking rad roaches. Seeing what was that guy's name? Is it Mr. House?
something. The like Death Claw at the end.
Yeah, the Death Claw. Just like there was just so many things that I'm like, yo, that was like taken straight from like my last playthrough of New Vegas.
Yep.
I'm just so fucking stoked, dude. It looks incredible. I'm excited.
Yeah, that looks sick. Yep. But other than that, I mean, that's all I got going on. How's the GeoGuessr grind going? Have you been playing other games, or are you still locked the fuck
Oh no,
in?
I'm locked the fuck in, dog.
Yes,
I got
sir.
I'm gold 2. I think I'm gonna be gold 1 at the end of this week.
Yeesh.
Monday is when it rolls over. Yeah, I've got my I played some team games. I don't actually know
Really? There's team games.
duos.
Interesting. Is it you both guessing and then it takes an average of your score, or is it like you two can
takes-
collude on where?
It takes the best of the 2 guesses.
Ah.
So a lot of times it's like if you know it's in Australia, what you can hedge, one goes West Australia, one goes East Australia, you know, or if there's a 50-50 between like Columbus, Ohio and
Vancouver.
Nairobi. No, like you fucking laugh, dog. There are some, I forget exactly what the examples are, but there are some hilariously, it's like Nebraska or Thailand. And I swear to God, it's like
They look the same.
examples that they are the same.
That's
Dude,
insane.
and there's a bunch of those that are like kind of like memes, but yeah, so that's really fun. The system's a little kind of wanting in that like you just say like find me a teammate, and it just pops up with the person. It's like, do you want to accept or not? And it's like you're only basing it off of their country of origin.
Yeah,
that's all you see.
Yep.
So it's like they see US and they're probably like, ugh, like fuck, they don't know shit about geography. But then like so you accept, and if like I think that there's like a party leader basically.
Okay.
Or actually, you know what I think happens? I think you both press like play, and when you press play, it's almost like they get like a little burp. This person wants to play with you.
Gotcha.
So then they hit play, and then it just like starts. You basically both. It's funky.
Interesting.
But also like so if I choose, I want to do like NMPZ, which is no move, pan, or zoom, and they have all 3 selected. I hit play, it might just be moving. It's like I have no control, and there's no way to chat unless you add them as a friend, which I like.
Yeah.
So it's really annoying. But yeah, I mean, I guess somehow I don't know how this happened, but I guess I got up to Master 2 on team. I'm not sure. I don't know if I don't know. That seems like maybe I just played with a master.
Oh,
and then, like,
maybe
they carried me, and then I don't know. It's confusing. Every duo that you play with has their own individual elo pair.
Okay.
So like, it's funky. So if I play
Yeah.
with like person number 1 and they're like not so good, our team has like 500 elo. If I play with person number 2 and they're really good, our
Gotcha.
team has 700 elo. It's kind of funky and kind of
Yeah,
hard to
yeah,
follow,
yeah.
but yeah, so I'm gold 2 right now. I am third in my little division here. You need to be the top 6. And it looks like, yeah, it's going to be tough. Basically, you play 20 games. That's what you like. Your first 20 games is what determines what your score is.
Yeah.
Um, and it effectively is like how many wins did you get out of those 20?
Mm.
So like first place they went, they got 14 wins. Second place got 12. I got 12. Fourth place has 10. Fifth place has 8, but they've only played 17. So if they like win the next 2 games, they will be like fourth place.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sixth place has won 8, and then like seventh place has only played 10 games. It's like 10, 9, 9, 9, 9, 3, 3, 5, 5. So it's like if these people just don't play, then I'm like locked in and
Yeah.
I'll rank up. And it seems like there's it's slightly it's hard to know. I might be like saying this and it might sound dumb because I just don't know what like the map selection is, but it feels like there are some more difficult locations in the like gold 2 map pool as compared to
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
or map pool as compared to gold 3. They might just be the same thing. I'm not sure, but
Interesting.
yeah, dude, some of these have been getting kind of tough. Yeah, but
Bro, Deadly Slob has been on like a GeoGuessr grind. You gotta like
I went on Twitter and I was like, yo, I just found out that Deadly has been playing. I'm like, Deadly, hit me up if you want to play, dude.
Yeah. Dude, there is a phenomenal clip where he's been playing while he loads into raids, and he loaded into a scav raid and he was like panicking because he was like trying to guess. But then he tabbed into Tarkov by clicking, and he shot a player scav, and the player scav just whipped around and annihilated him after he like waited however many minutes to get in, and then he like tried to go back to, dude, it's so funny. He was just like panicking.
God.
It was so great. But yeah, dude, he's been on that grind too. I think he's been playing ranked.
Yeah, dude, I would love to play duos with him. It'd be fun as fuck. And it would be like I've never played duos with someone who I was like talking to in Discord.
Yeah.
So you can kind of say like, I think it's this or I think it's that.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Because otherwise, like, yeah, you just have to have like the text chat and it's really awkward.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited, dude. I'm getting a lot better. I'm now able to do a little bit of like region guessing.
Oh, okay.
So like now I know Western Australia versus Eastern Australia, Southern Australia versus the Northern like territory.
Yeah.
I'm surprisingly enough, I'm getting a fair amount of like repeat locations. Now, granted, I've played a lot of games. I'm sure way more than the average, but probably low for the people who are like the pros, that do like the fucking competitions and stuff. But yeah, I've played 1,600 games.
Jeez.
Yeah, 800 moving, 886 no moving, no NMPZ. So that was the other thing too, is that like I got grouped with people who were higher ranked, like a master.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, NMPZ is like, now that I'm master, so I can choose NMPZ because I want to try that.
Yeah.
It's like, but like none of the people, I always get ranked with someone who's like, because my rating's 1,000 there. So their rating's like 500 and they might only have moving selected. And it's like,
yeah,
I just play it like not moving. I just like look around and guess.
Like, yeah.
Vibes right away. And it works out, like 53% of the time. But yeah, there was something else that I was gonna say about the GeoGuessr stuff. Oh yeah, mostly just like the thing that's still kind of killing me about the game is the scoring system, dude.
Oh,
First of all, there needs to be a setting where you can have like a globe, because the fucking Mercator projection makes
oh,
so much so much less intuitive.
yeah.
What you'll see, like, you have the location, and it's like a line to person A, a line to person B, and like this line is significantly shorter, but it's significantly further away because like one's along the equator versus one is like,
That's
so
crazy that they don't. Yeah, you would think at
because
the level that
everything,
you're playing, like competitive, it is kind of crazy that you can't pick on a globe.
yeah, because you would think that would be important information when you want to like hedge to really
Yes.
have a good idea, because like the way that the like Mercator, all right,
Bye
fucking
bye.
unplug nothing. The way that the Mercator projection works, right, is that um everything, the further away you get from the equator, the
The more it's
bigger
stretched.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um so dude, there will be a round where it's like round 1, it'll be Australia and they'll guess Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I don't know how many fucking distance from Australia to Brazil in miles. Please, oh god, Google, just answer the question.
I like to think that you
8,000
please,
miles.
oh God, to the end of that Google search, and that's how you.
Yeah, oh god, please Christ. So 8,000 miles.
Yeah.
I believe the way it works is it basically like takes the miles and it just like calculates the difference.
Yeah. So if you were 1,000 miles away, he's 8,000 miles away. But then you only have 5,000 score, right?
I think it's 6,000, or it's either 5 or 6,000. I forget. There's something else that happens to it.
Yeah.
Because like if that was the case, maybe it divides it by 2. I'm not sure, because
Yeah.
like the most I've ever done on round 1 is like 4,000 ish damage.
Gotcha.
Like if I guess pretty close to something and they don't even guess at all, like I don't think you can one shot on round 1.
Gotcha.
So I'll guess Australia, pretty much. Maybe it's like Central Australia. I guess Eastern Australia.
Yeah.
And they'll guess Brazil on round 1. I'll do 4,000 damage. Australia with Australian miles. Okay, so they were 8,000 miles. I was, if it was East and West Coast Australia, that I was 2,500 miles.
Yeah.
So surprisingly enough, like across Australia and then Australia to Brazil is like, it's almost half, right?
Yeah.
It's like 30% or whatever the fuck. Yeah. So, but that's like a deceiving thing, right?
Yeah.
So on round 1, 5K, perfect position, anything over 2K miles is essentially 0 points. So it doesn't matter how much more you miss. Gotcha. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Round 1, I'll do fucking, all the damage. And then like round 2, we'll both be like really close, good guess, close, good guess, really 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 close, good guess. And then it's like round 8, there's a 3x multiplier. And I'll guess Finland.
Yep.
Like here. They'll guess like Russia here, which is like conceptually it's so different.
Yeah.
Right? Like if I saw a street name that I knew was Finnish, or the architecture or whatever, right? It's completely different. But if the location is northern Finland, I lose.
Yeah.
I get one shot and the game's over.
Yeah.
So it's like I dominate. We're even. I make a slight mistake.
Yeah.
I chose the right country, but the wrong part of it. They chose the wrong country, but it's slightly closer. and I just lose.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it's like it's just so painful because it's like I just don't feel like you earned it,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And even when I'm on the other side of it, because half the time I win just like that too,
Yeah.
and it's like I don't even feel good about it.
Yeah.
Because especially if we're like neck and neck for 8 rounds, 9 rounds, 10 rounds, I got up to around like 11 or 12 for the first time ever. And it was like, this is such a good game. And, like,
What's the multiplier at round 12, bro?
I don't even know. The highest I've ever seen was like 3x. But like, there are rounds where I'll do like 15,000 damage or whatever. And it's like, they've only got 5 or 6,000 HP,
Yeah.
right? Like it almost just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But there's just so many things. There's so many things that are like deceptively crazy in terms of points. I'm kind of like these examples might not be super accurate because I haven't played enough to really know.
Yeah.
But like one of the things that's crazy is largest countries by landmass. Let me see. So like Indonesia, first of all, it's like I'm not even sure off the top of my head sometimes like where Indonesia is like. I can't see my cursor. I'm sorry. You probably can't either.
I can.
It's like this chunk of land and like bits over here and then like fucking parts down here. Like I can't see my cursor and I can't. This is like really awkward. But yeah, it's just like which parts of all these land masses, which parts are Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, Philippines, and Indonesia. It's like, I guess Thailand, and they guess Indonesia. Well, if it happens to be this part of Thailand, and I just guessed, like the capital or whatever, Bangkok or even like central to try to hedge, right? Because it's like no one at my level knows regions at all.
Yeah.
The only thing we might do region wise is like base it on the topography or topology. I always forget which is which.
But yeah,
right?
I see what you mean.
So like if I know it's Chile, right?
Yeah.
This whole area, it's hard to see. Actually, I can do this. If it's like really green, well, which part of Chile, which part is it going to be in?
Yeah.
Or if that it's like you're just getting a vibe that it's like South America in this general area, and it's like mountainous.
Yep.
It's probably going to be like along this sort of like line here. So sometimes I'll just guess like Bolivia right here, and sometimes it'll just fucking be right there. Sometimes it'll be over here. But like it's just crazy how if I guess New Zealand, it happens to be Sydney, and they guess let me think. I'm trying to think of some other examples where it's like just so drastically
yeah,
I'm not gonna be able to come up with any now, but you get the idea.
For sure. Yeah. Especially with like the Mercator projection stuff. Now I just can't get that out of my head where like you can have the like shorter line to the thing, but have it be further away in miles or kilometers because the way the map is, you know what I mean? Which is like, oh, it does seem crazy that there's not like a globe you can spin and zoom into.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's the truesize.com. I haven't used this. I've been meaning to like look at it. So.
Oh yes.
So they take like the United States, on Australia.
Yeah.
Bro, like.
Yeah, it's like it's like so much closer
you think
in
Russia
size
is
to Russia.
Massive.
Yeah.
But
And yeah, like Greenland is like so much smaller. Yeah.
This is why
Yep.
I had this joke a while back that kind of wasn't a joke, where I was like, remember back in the day when our commander in chief was talking about like, we're just gonna, let's buy Greenland, let's, because it's such big, there's so much land, they've got so much land there, and it's like, I wonder how much of that was just based on him not understanding fucking Mercator projection. Like, look how much land it is. We would
Yep.
like triple on the fucking land. It's like, my guy, it's not as big as you think.
Oh man.
But yeah, it's just like, they I wish you could choose the projection or I mean a globe. A globe would just be,
Yeah, it would be. It seems like the fairest.
yeah, because like it literally, if you're not like genuinely not sure, it might be like smart to just go in the middle of the Indian Ocean rather than like
Yeah.
New Zealand, if you're not sure if it's like Australia, New Zealand, or like South Africa or something. Um yeah, I don't know. Like
It's crazy that China, India, and the United States of America would fit in Africa.
yeah.
That's crazy.
Yep. Yeah, with room to spare.
Yeah. That's like insane.
Yeah, so now I wonder what's the size of Russia if you just pull it down. All right, so yeah, Russia is not as big as it kind of looks.
Yeah, exactly.
For
It's
sure.
not small, but it's not as big as it looks.
But honestly, like Russia is almost as fucking bad as like the United States. The United States is honestly, it's like fucking hard mode, dude. Like Russia and the US are, they're terrible. Like when I see Cyrillic, if I'm fortunate enough to figure out it's not Bulgaria and it's not Ukraine, I know it's Russia. It's like am I on the other side of the planet in Russia or not, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
sometimes it's St. Petersburg way to the west. Sometimes it's like on the islands out, and they look identical.
Yep.
But the United States, it's so often, the number of times I've been like, bro, this is like my backyard, and it's like Louisiana, and I'm like, this is my backyard, and it's like fucking like Wyoming. I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Like everything looks like fucking everything else.
Yeah.
I'm getting better with Canada. Canada is actually a little bit easier. There are a few different things about Canada, because they've got like the fucking provinces or whatever, and it's like, if stuff looks like very I don't even know how to explain it. I can probably show an example of like a quaint.
Yeah.
Let me see.
It's probably like PEI or something.
Come on.
Lots of roads. Oh yeah.
You know, it's like you just see a coast with some little houses, and it's like, I mean, this could be like Cape Cod, but it could be like Portsmouth, New Hampshire, or whatever. But usually it's like, okay, I'm getting vibes that it's Canada. But even then, it's like, what's that license plate? I don't know. Like, it could be fucking Connecticut. It could be, every state has like 6 different plates because they've have 3 or 4 versions, and they have ones that are super old. And right now they've got, like in New Hampshire, they've got like moose plates. So like the money you pay like extra, and it goes towards like national park stuff. And then there's like the veteran plates, and then there's the handicap plates, and like some of them have different layouts, different colors. But like, yeah, so Canada has like this kind of vibe, and that's generally how I'm like, okay, it's somewhere over in the like
yonder
New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, over the here, right? And then it's, if you see French, it's probably in Quebec, Quebecois. Otherwise, it's kind of wild card area. I know the Ballards in Alberta. And British Columbia, for the most part, looks like Washington State.
Gotcha.
You know, like when you're in fucking Washington, right? It's like, you know, you see like the kind of the pines,
Yeah.
the hilliness. You know, it's really nice.
Yep.
And if I go like fucking here, I mean, like,
Yep.
is this Montana? Is it
Yeah, dude.
Wyoming?
Yeah.
Is it,
Yeah.
you know, bro? We have to play. I would love to do competitive duos with you.
Bro, that'd be funny. That could be like another Patreon thing.
Yeah, if we could do that for like half an hour, 40
Yeah.
minutes or something, and you know what? We should do that if we have like if we do a Tarkov raid and like die right away, we could hop in and do GeoGuessr to make up for like the time
Yeah.
difference. Because otherwise, if people are like, oh, let's see raid number 2 and it's 9 minutes long, they're
Yeah.
like, no, you
Yep.
know. So at least
That'd be
I don't know,
fun.
that could be an idea.
That'd be fun. 100%.
But yeah, it would be cool for you to see some of the like intricacies and dude, just genuinely like it's just incredible to see the world, man. Like I've
Yeah.
learned so much about like cultures. It makes me want to travel so much more.
I believe that, bro.
Oh yeah, I want to show you one last place that's let's see, that you're not gonna fucking even believe here. Let's see, where is it? I'm gonna pull up a location and I'm gonna ask you
Oh,
where you think
God.
it is. Because it's an incredible place. I just have to find where it is on a map first. There we go. Okay. Let's go.
This is. Imagine you pull it up and it's like my house on Google Maps.
I mean, I've done something similar.
Really?
All right, let's see. No, dude. Oh my God. I hate this. Can you turn off? Man.
Where's like the name of the place on the map?
Yeah, no, I know how to fix this. Okay. We're almost there. Bear with me. I'm not like one friend who's like, dude, you got to see this thing.
Dude, check out this video. And it's like buffering and they have no service.
And the whole time I'm like, dude, trust me, it's gonna be so fucking sick. Trust me, man.
Oh my God.
Dog, I'm losing my mind here.
What if I get it immediately?
You won't.
I won't. You could plot me down in the city that I live in and I wouldn't get it.
Okay. We are. I need to stage it appropriately.
Stage it. Okay.
It's like incredible. I hate everything, dude. This is such good media. This is great content.
This is why you
just having me being like, it's gonna be good. I'm preparing it. Trust me.
We should put this on the Patreon. This is the S tier content,
this is
bro.
Bonus material. This is what you get. Okay, when you invest in the Patreon. You see us do raids, and then you see me be like, yo, bro, trust me. It's so sick, dude. Trust me. I'm literally like 3 clicks away, bro. Okay. Okay.
Okay. I mean, this truly could be anywhere in the world. Yellow line in the middle, white lines on the outside. Is that a castle or a bunker up at the top?
IDK.
I don't know. This is where they filmed the dream inside of a dream inside of a dream sequence in Inception. Which was definitely... freaking God. Ireland somewhere.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
It's just New Hampshire. This is like
what?
This is like 2 hours from me.
I mean, this is not what you think about when you think of New Hampshire.
It's just Mount Washington. It's the tallest peak in
the Northeast
and the Northeast.
Damn. Mount Washington.
Yeah, and I almost agreed, kind of without knowing it, way back in the day. When I first got into cycling, my old boss was like, "Yo, I'm gonna do a race, basically up Mount Washington," and I was like considering it because I didn't know. Didn't know.
Yeah.
I never know,
Yeah.
bro. It's like,
nah, fam. Miss me with bike, that, bro.
On a bike with like, and the like racing bikes we have, dude. Like the first gear, you're like normally on a mountain bike, first gear, you're just like,
yep,
and you're not going anywhere. First gear is like ninth gear.
Yep, on a mountain bike.
So you're like, it just doesn't get easier than that because they just expect you're going 23 miles an hour on the bike at all times, or that you actually like have quads, like, but yeah, I'm so glad I didn't.
That's insanity.
You wouldn't see me.
No.
You'd never see me. I wouldn't have survived.
Dang.
Over 6,000 feet. Yeah.
Yeesh.
Anyway, that was totally worth
that.
Like
dude, that was sick. I mean, I didn't look like New Hampshire. You were right that I would have not guessed that in my first 100 guesses.
And it wasn't until like 3 days ago that I'm like, hey, you know what? I've never been to Mount Washington. I wonder what it like looks like. Now I'm kind of sad actually because I just feel like I don't need to drive there.
Yeah. You know what's funny too is if it had
like spoiled it.
If you had just left Mount Washington in the text, I would have 100% thought that was Washington.
You would have been like, all right, is it Washington State or Washington, D.C.?
That wouldn't have been a spoiler for New Hampshire.
Oh, dude, some poor fucking guy. There was a location that was like Indiana, Cambodia, or something. I don't remember what country it was. Maybe someone in chat will remember. But you're just right in front of a sign that was like, "Welcome to Indiana."
Oh my!
And I instantly was like, "This is not Indiana." And the poor fuck was like German or whatever. He's like,
Indiana.
Oh, let me just find Indiana. I think I know that's in the U. And he was like perfectly on Indiana, and it was like, Indiana, Israel.
Oh my God.
Indiana, Israel. That's
crazy.
Dude, it was so funny.
Welcome to Indiana.
Because it had like a sign. And honestly, the reason why I instantly knew was because it had like a www. Like church blah 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 .com.il.
Ah, okay.
And I'm like, what the fuck is IL? I'm like, it's not Ireland. It's not like, I might have been like Illinois. Right?
Yeah.
But I just know that there's like no states that have domains.
That's crazy. Indiana, Israel.
Yeah, man. So there you go.
That's sick. Dude, I love it, man. I freaking love it. Well, that is that's the stuff for this week. Once again, if you're interested in more podcast content and potentially some other games, some Tarkov, Jesse and Veritas Tarkov or GeoGuessr or stuff like that, head to patreon.com/thepodcastpod. Thank you guys as always for listening and listening to us rant about the games that we love to hate and hate to love. You guys are the best. Thanks for being here. We will definitely see y'all on the next one.
Earn your country flags.